That they're infringing upon our rights even as we speak, or attempting to.
Yeah.
This man's got constitutions right there, little pamphlets. You want to grab one? Everybody needs one. It's just a reminder for those that may not remember what you were taught in high school before the federal government took over our educational system. My name is Bill Lumen, like Barbara said. I want to thank her for putting this event together. She was kind of put in at the last minute, and she's done a jam-up job. A couple of years ago, we were out here just with bullhorns, and the Capitol Police didn't know for sure whether we were allowed to carry weapons. These gentlemen behind me think it's a mobile gun show that comes to them now. Isn't that awesome? One of those gentlemen told me two rallies ago, I've never felt safer at a rally. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Lieutenant. Hoorah. That's a Marine back there. Hoorah. I don't have a speech. I don't write a speech. I tried to do one last rally that a speech writer wrote for me. She fired me because I didn't follow it. I want to say something right up front. There's a gentleman by the name of Paul Brown. I just started my vetting process to decide whether I was going to back him or not. And yes, I was entertaining the idea of running against Zaxby Chambliss. And then he said he was going to retire. I figured I scared him. Come to find out it was Paul that did it. Paul's a constitutionalist. So what I'm going to tell you right now is I'm going to bow out for the moment. And I'm going to throw my support behind Paul Brown. Oh. Yeah. Candy may think this is a little early to do. But I just found out something that he also is a brother. He is a Marine. And that means a lot to me. Marines are not timid creatures. None of us. Some are a little quieter than others. I'm not one of them.
Is he going to work for room and board?
That was, hey, I'm leaving my options open. I still got Isaacson and I got Gingrey in my gun sight. I'm sorry. I got their positions targeted. And I did it again. Let's just say I'm going to possibly explore the opportunity to seek gainful employment for room and board at a later date when I become more viable and have more name recognition. But that'll be up to the grassroots support, and that's later on down the road, if we survive this administration.
Yeah.
I do not believe, and I didn't believe when this gentleman took office, and I couldn't label it what exactly I didn't trust about this gentleman in the Oval Office. But I found out when we had the 99 do that Occupy Wall Street stuff up there, I realized that he was the first occupier. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I don't like that. I don't like having to give up my records to a federal government so they can look at my background. I don't like to have them vet me but not vet him thoroughly.
Yeah.
Another thing I do not like is registration of my legally owned weapons that last week were legally owned by a law-abiding citizen, just like yours are now. But then they want to register my weapons, and they want me to volunteer that information. Our founders wouldn't have done that.
They'd be shooting already.
Sir?
They'd be shooting already.
I firmly believe that. That gentleman said they'd be shooting already. That happened on April 19th, didn't it?
1775.
1775. 8 patriots. I like to call them patriots. So they were already calling themselves Americans. Some were called colonists, Whigs, whatever. 8 of them lay on the ground after that small skirmish. The British moved forward to further encroach upon liberties that had not yet been invented or guaranteed by this government. The government didn't exist, but it does now. We have the Bill of Rights. I'm not going to give up any of those.
Non-negotiable.
You're going to give up any of those.
No.
You're one small percentage of the people that are waking up in this great state of Georgia. Even as I speak right now, the gentleman that founded Oath Keepers is speaking, I think, in New York. at a rally very similar to this, or exactly like this. But he likes to go up there where people are abusive. They're not as down-home Southern as we are, or hospitable. But I am not going to give up my rights to any tyrannical form of government, no matter how they try to play it. Just to remind you, the incident, the mass shooting that happened in Newtown, Connecticut, what was that gentleman's political affiliation?
He was a Democrat.
Registered Democrat. Aurora.
But Democrat.
Democrat.
And these guys are good. Registered Democrat. Gabby Gifford got shot. A judge got killed. She got shot by one of her own voters.
He was
A Democrat. And if I'm not mistaken, some have even said, I don't know, I wasn't there to be able to watch them take the meds, but some are saying that they all were under the influence of some form of medication, some form of antidepressant, or some sort of doctor's care. Why don't we just ban Democrats? That makes a lot of sense to me. If I get in my truck here in a minute, throw down a six-pack of beer, they're going to arrest me for drunk driving. They're not going to arrest my truck. Well, they'll impound it. It's just another way to extort a little bit more money out of me when I go through the process. I want to encourage everybody. First of all, I'm beginning to like Paul Brown a lot. I want to encourage everybody to look at him hard. He's a constitutionalist, like me and you. He's a veteran, like me and many of you. I'm going to recruit him for Oath Keepers. He just don't know it yet. But I want you to start vetting him and assure yourself that he is the man for the position. Because if it wasn't going to be him, this redneck was going to go up for it. God bless for Paul Brown.
Thank y'all. God bless you.
Yes, sir. Hoorah. He started out as he just told me he started out working on aircraft. That's exactly what I did in the Marine Corps. 10 years. Honorably served. Any liberals out there, raise your hand. You don't have to be shy. They're right now on a campaign to figure out what I did in the Marine Corps. One of them said, yeah, you weren't a Marine. I said, waste your money. Go ahead. Call the Department of Defense. Send me your extorted money so you can find out. Yes, I was a Marine. 10 years, honorably discharged. I wasn't going to offer the information. Oh, yeah. I was famous. Barbara wants me to bring this up. I was famous before Ted Nugent was. Well, I would have been if it hadn't been for that pesky guitar he carries around with him for years. But I got turned in, and that's my claim to fame. I ride these. I own these silver trucks that run around, and we service overhead cranes throughout Georgia and East Tennessee. And on the back of those cranes, I got a little frustrated with the current administration. On the back of those trucks, not the cranes, I put these signs up that said, "New company policy, I'm not hiring until Obama's gone." Which, that garnered the attention of Southern Poverty Law Center, Occupy Wall Street, Secret Service. I was turned in by a liberal for being a racist and posed a threat to the President of the United States. I was sent hundreds of emails, one of which just sticks in my mind. I should obey my master, Obama.
Oh! Oh!
I emailed back, I am his master. Not in racial text either.
He works for us.
If I were to tell Obama to mow my yard, he better do it because he's my employee. Or he better find somebody that I further employ that's under his command to mow my yard. That's what I told my sheriff. He didn't like that. 159 sheriffs in the state of Georgia. Let me jump over to that. Oh, let me get back to, I'm sorry, Secret Service. Yeah, they came down. They talked to me. They went through the same rhetoric, the same 10-page document, asked me questions like, did you have a head injury? Have you ever been to a Secret Service event where we were present? And I was like, no. And I got to realize they were doing their job. They were being professional. They had obeyed a lawful order to go talk to me. That's okay. And me being an oath keeper, I looked at it as a recruiting opportunity. Those gentlemen are good friends now. And they said some things I won't repeat, but I assure you that a lot of the law enforcement, a lot of the military that are on active duty, a huge percentage of our retired veterans and law enforcement, and even our firemen, and there's a couple politicians. And you know, politicians took the oath also. They also took the oath to defend the Constitution. I think Obama took the oath to pervert the Constitution, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
There's a large percentage of all that populace that's going to protect us. Me being one of them. A lot of you are going to be having to stand toe to toe, whether it's a verbal conflict or whatever. You're going to have to get serious with this government. If it hits the fan, it's going to get even more serious. And it may not be pretty. I'm not saying I want it. I don't. But it is in God's will what happens, not. But He give us our own will, and we are out here today exhibiting that, even as we speak. We have free choice. We have the right to tell the people that are governing us exactly how we feel. And we're doing it. Like I said, four years ago, this was unheard of. An armed rally in Atlanta, Georgia at the Capitol building. 2 years ago, it met with litigation. Today, and then we had our own little rally, and there was only 40 people here holding signs. Here in the last 5 weeks, we've had 3 rallies. All of them over 100. Some approaching 400 to 500 in those events. And one was during business hours and got their attention up there, and that was good. Secret Service isn't an issue. The issue is the one that they're protecting. He's the one that's wanting to take our guns. It's not, I was going to say that too. It's not about gun control, it's about people control. And she says citizen control. That's exactly what it's about. It's happened historically in Nazi Germany, in Russia, in China, even that little island south of Florida, Cuba. A lot of people, millions, have died because of citizen control, because they didn't have any way to protect themselves. I urge you to start looking around your neighbors, get with your families, get with your county officials, see and vet them, make sure their heart's in the right place. Get with even people within the state, because you got to start locally and start protecting you and yours. Then you got to reach out and find trusted people that will be there to help you out. That your first stance is going to be defense. If they come down your driveway, you're going to have to make a statement. You're going to have to say no. You can't have my weapons, and that'll be a soft knock, probably, is what we call it. And some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Soft knock, just to feel you out. A soft knock, usually, if you don't volunteer what they want, is followed by a hard knock. Once you get your soft knock, if that happens, you need to start organizing locally. Organize your friends, your neighbors, your county, and then stay alert and stay in a defensive posture. The honorable thing to do is not to start this fight. The honorable thing to do is allow them to start it, and we'll finish it.
Yeah. Woo.
On that note, I'm going to leave you guys. If you want to join Oath Keepers, it's easy, oathkeepers.org. That'll get you to the national site. Georgia Oath Keepers is recruiting hard and heavy, and we're not only recruiting just the veterans and just the active duty, we're recruiting our firemen, we're recruiting our politicians, and we are recruiting associate members. We are an all-comers chapter of Oath Keepers. So if you want to join. Joining honorable groups like that will give you the ability to network. Key word, network. Within your community, you'll build solidarity, and then you can work out from there. God bless you all. Semper Fi Marines, and thank you for your service, veterans.